Good morning, everybody. How are you as you're just logging on this morning? I just want to say good morning. My hair is soaking wet from yesterday, and so that's why I'm wearing a hat today. Not that you really need to know that, but here we are. Good morning, you guys. How are you doing? As you're getting on, just say hello, and I'm actually just gonna stream live on Instagram this morning. Um, awesome. Oh, okay, there. Great. Awesome. Hey, you guys, how are you? Good morning. Hey, IG, how are you guys? Streaming live from my living room here in San Diego. It's kind of a little chilly out these days. The last couple days in San Diego, it's been cold. But good morning. Welcome to Coffee with Shanda. I just want to jump right into it today. Have you guys ever noticed that sometimes there's things in your personality that they're ready to change? Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're to be absolutely honest, there's some things that you're not super proud of yourself for in your personality. If you're a yes, then just say yes, absolutely. Like, I want to see how many responsible people are on 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. Are there things in your personality that really could stand to change, right? Yes, Brandy, thank you for being honest on Facebook. Hey, you guys on Instagram, absolutely yes, right? So, so I go to my girlfriend's. I got my girlfriend a spa treatment at La Costa yesterday, and it was her birthday. Actually, she's my stylist, Carla Perea. There's somebody last week that actually won a $700 session with her because I randomly give things away on Coffee with Shanda. But so listen to this. So we go for a massage, and she says to me, she goes, she just went on the spiritual retreat with someone that we both know, and she says to me, she goes, this person that is this spiritual leader, her husband, he's since passed away, but he basically what happened was he phoned her up and he said, I'm coming home for dinner. What are you making for dinner? And she told him, and then he never showed up. He never showed up for dinner. That he never showed up the next day. That he never showed up the next day. And I think she said it was like 4 or 5 days that he actually never showed up. Can you imagine your husband just not showing up for one day, nevertheless, like 4 or 5 days? So, so we're having this conversation, and I'm like, oh my God, I would kill him. Like, I would definitely, I would be like, are you serious? Like, I would be, I would be livid. And you know how things just come in perfect timing? Like, things just come in perfect timing. And I had been aware of just this, like, there's something in my personality that I wanted to release. And of course, this conversation was in perfect timing. Good morning, Deborah. Good morning, Tanya. Good morning, Savannah. Good morning, Tamaya. How are you guys? Alora. Okay, so so we're having this conversation. She makes dinner. Her husband doesn't show up. 5 days later, her husband shows up, walks through the door, and she made the same dinner every single day until he came home. And they sat down at dinner, and she never said a word. And here's the moral of the story. She said to Carla, she said, men will test you. This isn't a man woman thing at all, but men will test you. And what I heard from that is, and sorry, I'm not telling the story very well, but you get what I'm saying. Like, she didn't go in there and bitch and complain and nitpick and like attack him, and who knows what he was up to, whether it was good or bad. The point is she didn't go in there and attack it. And because of that, it's like that whole situation transitioned. It didn't, who knows what happened, but it just transitioned. He, came back to life in the essence of like started showing up again, like all of that type of stuff. And I contributed that to life because what this person said to Carla is that men will test you. And I said to myself, well, life will test you, right? Life will test you. So this morning, the reason why I'm doing Shanda's 6 a.m. coffee with Shanda in my actual dining room right now, and on my desk, is stuff on my desk, like, a lot of I'm like, okay, well, all right, and just have a laptop here. frustrated, start, complaining to somebody else, or even worse, getting upset at somebody else because things aren't working your way. And my piece of life is to teach people how to make a lot of money. I mean, life is a lot better with a lot of money. It just is. It's not going to solve your emotional problems. You're just going to become more of who you are when you make more money. But it does make life a little bit easier. It does make life a little bit more enjoyable. However, if you're emotionally charged every time something doesn't work, then it takes me a lot longer to be able to get those clients to their end destination. I find two things. Either people make money and they start spending it on all these random things because they're trying to get ahead faster. Ahead faster is not possible. It just doesn't. When I say it's not possible, it's like it just has to do with the way you think. Just risking more is not one aspect of just getting more or making more. There's a lot that goes into it. There's generosity. There's your effort in one area of your business. Like people say to me, I want to invest in this, and this, and I love their ambition to do that. But at the end of the day, they still haven't mastered this, right? Which means that you're building on a crumbly ground, a crumbly foundation. And so I share this with you because one of the biggest pieces, it's not one, it is the biggest piece in growing a business, growing a marriage, growing friendships, has to do with the fact of your emotional intelligence. It just does. And so I'm sorry, you guys, if it's breaking up. I saw that a little bit. We'll save it on YouTube as well, because I think it's coming through fine on my side. But anyway, so if you were to just look at the area and be honest, where you have an emotional breakdown, like look at the area in your life where you actually have an emotional breakdown, where you're not so proud of yourself for something or some way that you're being. And then, hi, Brandy. Oh, Brandy moved to Instagram because she said it was easier to see on Instagram. And if you want to jump over to Instagram, you can. It's just Shanda Sumpter. So if you go to Instagram, you can type in Shanda Sumpter and find me live right now. So look at the area of your life that you're emotionally charged in a way that has you react in a way that you're not proud of. Like, forget thinking about if you're right about it or if somebody deserves it. Like, forget about all of that. Where are you emotionally charged in your life? I mean, I can see it in a specific area of my relationship. I can see it in a specific area in my business, with my team specifically. Not that, and I just want to declare, my team's fantastic. It's not about that. It's just, it really is about something totally different. And I can see how I'm responsible for creating that drama in my life. Like, I can actually see where I'm responsible, and I know exactly what I need to do to fix it. However, it requires another give on my side. And typically the give that you have to give or give up to be able to lose that emotional charge requires you to give up all righteousness. It requires you to give up all righteousness, meaning that if it's in a relationship, you need to be right and to just let it slide, right? Like, maybe you don't need to correct him, right? Maybe that's not my thing, but there's other things like Ash likes to speak business. I don't like to speak business in the evenings. Maybe what I can do is set up, a couple hours throughout the month where I set aside time for him in the time zone that he actually enjoys to speak business. And then that would unlodge some emotional trigger for me, right? In my team, I can invest in someone who's already built $100 million company to come in as an OBM, right? An online business manager versus training somebody, right? And here's what I recognize. What gets you here doesn't get you there. Like, what grew my company to here, what grew my relationship to here doesn't get it to there, right? And so you've got to constantly change. You've got to constantly give something up. And here's the deal. The reason why I'm so transparent about this is because we got to let ourselves off the hook for not being perfect. Like, you got to let yourself off the hook for not being perfect. The game is not about intensity and perfection. It's not about, and you'll know if you're being perfect because you're judging somebody in your life right now. You're judging your coach, you're judging, someone you love, you're judging a team member, you're judging a friend. Judgment is like a great deflector from responsibility, right? It's a great deflector from responsibility. But if you were to pull back the string, what you'd realize is that you are completely in control of changing something, but typically you don't want to do it. Like, I get this with moms. Moms are like, I'm not giving up my time with my children to grow a business, and that's just not right. And I'm like, well, you don't have to. I don't. You don't have to. Just get up at 4:30 in the morning. Well, I'm not a morning person. Well, so become one. You know what I mean? Is it not worth it? Like, is it not worth it to have that relationship with your child? And well, no, I'm going to give up the business. I'm like, but that's stupid, because then you're just telling your children that they should give everything up when they have a family. I mean, does that make sense? Is that what you want for them? Give up, like, that's martyrism, right? I gave up everything for my children. Like, that is not empowering, right? Like, that is like something they're going to have to work out in a training room later on in life, because they're constantly saying, my mom gave everything up for me, or my dad gave everything up for me. So what if you were to just pull it back and say, and the trigger is, what is that emotional trigger? Like, that's what gives you the understanding that there's this amazing thing that wants to come through in your life. Like, this isn't a bad thing, you guys. Your life's trying to grow. Your life's trying to grow. And so that's why the emotional trigger's there. But if you believe that you're wrong, or you're an asshole, or you're not perfect, or God, I got to work on this thing. Like, when you have that type of mentality, what happens is you actually suppress yourself. You suppress yourself. So what if you looked at growth as exciting, which I think most people do have this element of excitement. It is like pulled in us, like it's built in us, that we believe, like, if we could grow, if we could make more money, if we could have a better relationship, if we can get in better shape, like, we're attracted to growth. The human spirit loves growth. But then what we do is we squish that growth by literally bringing in all of this mindset and these thoughts, and we entertain them around these conversations around emotional triggers. And then we give all of our power away to people we love, or to our business, or to our team members, or to time, or to, not enough support. I'll hear this sometimes, like, how come there's some people in my coaching program who are skyrocketing into 7 figures, and then there's another group that says we have no support. And then we get another group that is saying, I can't believe how much support we have. Well, it's all mindset. And we become a self-fulfilling prophecy with our emotional triggers that either get us to the next level, or they suppress us. But make no mistake, you are either suppressing yourself, or you're taking responsibility for the trigger that's coming up right now. And that is an indication that there's something else you need to give up. And we have this connection to giving up something as if it is negative, but it's not. If you give it up, you will get more of what you want. If you give it up, you will get more of what you want. It's a test. And the test that we are being given right now is a test for our own good. It is a test for something that you actually want. And here's what's crazy. It's a maze, which means that a lot of times you cannot directly correlate the test to what you want. I'll say that again. A lot of times you cannot correlate the test that's in front of you and connect it to the thing that you want. Sometimes you can, but a lot of times you can't. I see this in business all the time. I'll reduce somebody's level of stress or intensity, how hard they push. I'll reduce it. This is why it cracks me up when someone says, when they talk about masculine and feminine, like I feel like the community is too masculine for me. No, you're masculine. Because masculinity is about a drive. It's raising children, it's driving, it's making money. But femininity is letting some of that go. Letting some of that go. And you need a good balance of the two to be able to really cultivate a team, make a lot of money, push a project forward. So I'll just pull back the masculinity in some of my ladies and actually have them lose intensity. I don't use those words, and so sometimes people don't connect that the letting go actually has them explode forward. So letting go of some of the drive and intensity will have them explode forward, which is like, don't chase every opportunity, right? Don't start to like buy 700 products thinking you're going to get there quicker. You're not, right? So I just share all this stuff with you because I'm hoping that it makes a difference for you. I'm hoping that you can look at your emotional triggers today, this week, over the next couple weeks, and just take a moment and grab a piece of paper and pen and recognize where you're responsible for it. And then say, well, what would I have to give up to not have this emotional trigger again? What would I have to give up? And then why don't you just give yourself a test and just give it up for a couple weeks, like 14 days, just give it up, whether it's with a person in your life, a result that you want in your life, whatever, like fitness, just be willing to give it up for 2 weeks, 14 days. Anybody could do anything for 14 days, okay? Many of you guys have done 14-day cleanses. Like everybody can do anything for 14 days. If 14 days seems too long for you, then just do 7, okay? Just do half of it, and then you could recommit for the next half, right? But just see what happens in your life if you give that thing up. You're going to see a multitude of things change quickly because everything in life is a mirror of what we're putting out. If you are meeting shitty men, then stop being whatever they're attracted to, right? If you're meeting unavailable men, stop being the type of woman that unavailable men are attracted to, right? I've seen unavailable men meet the next woman and marry her. Right? So if you're not making the type of money you want, then what do you need to give up to be able to make that? Do you need to invest in a really good business coach instead of a shitty one? Do you need to stop working on too many projects? Do you need to hire somebody like an assistant? What do you need to do? Right? You don't need to create a website if you don't have any money. Okay? So just a gift to whoever's listening that thinks they need to go invest in a website to make money. Most people don't have any websites anymore these days. We just have landing pages, okay? So, what do you need to give up to be able to actually create what it is you want? And the emotional trigger is the indicator for that. So I hope that this was enjoyable for you on Coffee with Shanda. I'm going to end there. I don't know what you guys are drinking. I'm drinking my macchiato again this morning. So it's macchiato coconut milk, and I did put a little bit of coconut sugar in today. So, and just so you know, on Facebook Live, I'm actually going to put a couple, my computer obviously wasn't working this morning, the test that I got to pass. I'm actually going to put a couple of our YouTube favorite coffees with Shanda. Like I did one on entitlement, which is a really great one. I did one on if you're an A player or B player last week that a lot of people really enjoyed. I'm going to put that on there. It's really important to track and measure your performance in a way that's healthy because again, it ties into what I spoke about today. So I'm going to put in, are you an A player or B player? And I'm going to put that in Facebook Live in the description. I recommend that you watch it. I popped some of these on YouTube, but on Facebook Live, there are ones that actually created a lot of attention, like tipping 7 figures, got over 100 million, got, I just lost it. 100,000 views inside of 2 weeks, which means that to me, that indicates that a lot of people want to know how did we tip to 7 figures. So I'm going to put them in the description. I'm going to put 2 of my favorite ones in the description of the Facebook Live today. Feel free to share those around. Feel free to watch them or watch them again or save them because sometimes, especially Instagram, these stories or these lives don't stay on Instagram and on Facebook Live. A lot of times once you watch them, the thread goes so fast on our page that you don't have them again. So I just opened up a YouTube channel. Isn't that crazy? I just opened up a YouTube channel and I'm just starting to put them on YouTube for you guys so that you guys have them available. And here's what's cool. I am going to be, this week I'll be here, but next week I will be in this really cool themed out house with Russell Brunson and a few other people that we rented this house in Las Vegas. So we're going to hang out there. I'll be doing 6 a.m. Facebook Lives. Who knows the room I'm going to get? It's all themed out and crazy. And then from there, I'm going to come home. I'm going to repack my bag and I'm going to head out to Barbados. And from Barbados, I will be doing Coffee with Shanda as well, but with the beautiful ocean behind me. So God bless you guys. Here's to a good life. Here's to a good life. You know what I mean? Here's to just letting go of the emotional triggers, looking at them differently so that we get to have a better life. Here's to more happiness. Here's to more joy. Here's to more money. Here's to more of whatever you want. Here's to more donating. Here's to more God. Here's to more like amazing moments in life and tons of love, health, and prosperity. All right, you guys, I'll see you tomorrow morning on 6 a.m. Coffee with Shanda. Talk to you soon. Bye.